DRX, RRQ,
And here we're welcoming RRQ and DRX. Just 2 days ago, both of these teams suffered a loss, and they only had this much time to turn it around to face off each other. And I don't know if today's going to be the day that RRQ finally gets their first win against a Korean team.
Most certainly. It's only been a couple of days. They need to use that time to really shake everything off and fix whatever they can fix. And been a big story for RRQ. Can they finally cross over this hurdle now that they have Monyet coming into the team?
Yeah, the question is as well, right, for DRX here, is they're already qualified for the playoffs. All they have to do right now is just kind of sharpen the knife, right? For RRQ, it's playoffs is definitely a realistic thing to still happen. So there's so much to be done by both of these teams. And one of the things that I'm so curious about right now is how does DRX, again, move forward with more of these cloak plays now that it's another team? Just to kind of, throw it out there. How aggressive are we going to see Flashback? Is he going to play a lot more laid back just because Monyet's right there? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like what's the composition gonna look like? DRX, are they gonna still be flexible and still aggressive? Meanwhile, for RRQ, how are they gonna fix their defensive sides? Because that has been one of the weakness that Coach Ewok was talking about with that match against Talon.
That's right. I mean, both of these teams right now, while DRX is already secure for playoffs, they want to sharpen that knife, like Asarai was saying, get in there looking stronger. It's really important to just have the other teams quivering in their boots a bit. With that, we're going to go in the very first match of today. Let's go over to our casters. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, guys, on the analyst desk. I am Valdez. With me is Trobra today. How are you doing?
That's me. I'm very excited for it today. I think all weekend here in week 2, these were all matches we were all looking forward to. Lots of stories and a lot of what we expected to be close matches, which I guess the result-wise is also proven true. So today, DRX versus RRQ. On paper, you would imagine that DRX should always be favored. But again, RRQ has given them a little bit of trouble last year, taking away something like the Haven. So we'll see if they can recreate that success today.
Yeah, Trevor, you actually did go for the prediction over to the side of RRQ. We'll see if they can get the win tonight, as we do see some of the compositions here. No Clove for Split, although that was being pulled out by DRX a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if you're going to play with the double controllers, a Viper Omen is just a lot more stable. You can already do a lot more. I think DRX played around the Clove as best as they could, but we definitely saw some weaknesses from it, where you basically still had to win your aim duels. RRQ, meanwhile, now utilizing the fact that they have two guys that can flex around on very powerful duelists. So Jemkin going to be sticking on the Jet, and Monyet will get to continue to pick up the Raze once again, really flexing that Asian pool.
Yeah, so no Neon for this map, but perhaps in the future we'll have to wait and see. And the Jet Raze makes sense. It's something that a lot of teams, especially Paper X, who do bring out the double duelist for this map, have found a lot of success with. So let's see how this first map is going to go. DRX up against RRQ. And DRX already making it into playoffs. They have secured their spot. RRQ still trying to claw away and getting a couple more wins to secure that spot for themselves.
Yeah, today's a pretty big day for 3 out of the teams, out of the 4 teams that are playing. RRQ, obviously one of them, but then even the next match of Team Secret T1, all of them kind of looking at each other's matches as well, because we could get into some weird, 3-way tie scenarios, things like that. So RRQ, they'll want to try to get whatever wins they can, whether it's a match or even just at least the map score and the round scores as well.
Grenade!
Well, we do have them coming out relatively quickly here, all the way through A main, as now Monyet going to go up top and immediately does take him down, but Raid's coming in, and Mako actually going to be saved by Buzz there, who does shoot Jemkin in the back of the head, as now it's Pharaoh in the corner, immediately going to be taken down by Buzz, who is already starting off very strong, and that should be a nearly complete hold here for DRX.
Yeah, Omimore not exactly healthy with only 33 HP, so a 1v3 looking nigh impossible. If he can get the plant, That's a little silver lining you take on to the next round. Maybe that's enough to buy up 1 or 2 pistol upgrades as well. We'll see what the choice is, as he doesn't have any guiding lights either. Just that one classic.
Spike planted.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the plant, as you mentioned. Should feel pretty good about that. Seems like he rushed over just to get that down, and now he's just going to hide in the corner. I mean, you never know if they make some mistakes that come in one by one. You know, you get a couple of right clicks, but not looking too good for Elmimore here.
Yeah, the pings everywhere that he could possibly be hiding, including behind this box. So DRX very well aware of the possibilities, taking that caution. The drop sound fakes him out. Good setup by DRX to make sure they get onto the defuse first while 2 of them wrap around. And overall, really fast backup. That's really what throws RRQ off. I thought Jemkin and Monyet did pretty well trying to double team up into Heaven, but there's just that one extra member. Mako falling off of Heaven, trying to just draw time as Buzz comes in for the save, and that's DRX playing with the numbers advantage a little bit on that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they were very ready for this kind of play, as right through the smoke, you see Mako able to shoot him down. Buzz comes over, helps out his buddy, and then also gets the word on that guy right there. And eventually DRX clean up the push.
Nice!
Well, we've seen more teams getting very excited about their pistol round wins, perhaps as a result of just realizing how important the pistol wins can be, right? It's a huge advantage that you have. So just making sure that you keep the energy up, especially with a lot of these teams kind of taking on the younger rosters to try to jazz themselves up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have Elmimore has picked up a Sheriff for himself. We know what he can do with this gun. But yeah, here mostly on an eco. And we'll see where they do try to go. We did have Flashback, who was kind of jump peeking there over towards Garage, and is going to force them over towards the A.
Yeah, and as we take a look at how this pans out, the Cypher setup that DRX has right now is something that they used a lot against PaperX as well. And what it does is it makes sure that you cannot rely on finding the cam to discover Cypher's position, right? The trip is still over by B main. That's something that PaperX sometimes got caught off by a little bit. They actually ended up still winning their duels. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, RQ's definitely not prepared to fight on this one, especially with the gun disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, the snakebite timing was also fantastic, and yeah, Buzz is here, tucked in with the judge, just looking to have some fun, and Nexfero is going to be spotted and already takes some damage through the wall, down to 2. Trying to see what he can see, but isn't actually going to see anything, as now Bane also is going to get peeked. Nice little play, but not going to have much luck here against that judge, and now the paint shell is going to be lobbed in. A couple of members of RRQ still over here.
Yeah, and DRX playing very cautious as well, right? Making sure that they keep the range a little bit to make sure that they have an advantage. Elmimore will wait patiently, but it's just one gun dropped. Flashback only had the Sheriff, so DRX not taking any damage from their economic investment. They go on to the 3rd round in a bonus that they had hoped that they would carry over.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Buzz kind of shot in the back of the head. Not much he could do there. Not expecting him to be tucked in the corner. But overall, a very clean round as Mako, you know, gets that little bit of sight right as they're coming in. And right before he gets flashed, so he's able to clean that up.
Yeah, and the cyber cage as well. So it's these small little things we'll have to keep an eye on to see if RRQ can keep tabs on that. The setup that Foxy9 has, how often do they force him to change things up? As we already see him doing a little bit, a very forward cam now, so that they can focus a little bit more on mid. Trying to hold these close quarters connections here in mid to make sure that RQ can't play the map with the weapon advantage. With all 5 rifles, of course, not all full armor though, as Flashback hits a nice shot. Taking down the Omen. That's a lot of flexibility gone from RQ's attack.
Yeah, that was kind of insane. Just very fast reaction from Flashback, and now he is going to, I believe, spot another member as this push is going to be coming in. He already does have Buzz up there, up top. He's got the judge able to upgrade as well. Meanwhile, Elmimore will take him out, but Flashback still not cleared out on the back of the site. A couple of kills do go over to Elmimore and Jemkin, but this is very close. Too close for comfort here for the side of RRQ, as now Bane looking to challenge into both of them and will transfer it onto 2 with a Bulldog.
Wow. I mean, playing it close, just making sure that he can try to spray them down rather than going further range, which they'll have the advantage at that point, right, with the Vandals and the Phantoms. So Bane playing to the best of his abilities. Very, very clean shot right through the crack there from Flashback. And overall, like you said, RRQ had just taken too much damage. They even heard the drop here. Bane actually accidentally made sound on the ropes, but he still redeems himself with the double kill, now putting himself on the board. And we've seen a lot of bonus round wins this weekend, Valdez, and once again, DRX now leading 3-0.
And those bonus rounds, they begin to compile and get into a bit more, and now Magnet goes in by himself, immediately going to be shot down by Buzz. And they even have the heal here for Maku, who also takes down Jemkin. So that's both of your duelists gone, and the push immediately shut down here in mid. RRQ just not finding an angle so far on this map.
Yeah, of course, you know, attacking on split, it can be a little well, right as we talk about not finding angles, Elmimore finds 2.
Got your trail.
I mean, this is pretty massive. For sure, you use Seekers. You need to get whatever advantage you can right now to try to stabilize. Realize just the one going into the site. Elmimore will carry the torch. The snake bite's good too. And that's going to allow Xfero to just hang back. A very, very good Thrifty.
Well, I underestimated my powers. The second I said, hey, they're not finding any luck, they absolutely destroyed them here. I mean, they were down 3-5, and Elmimore says, hey, yeah, just put a sheriff in my hand. I'll get the job done.
Yeah, there are just some of these players where it's like, no matter the econ situation, you got to trust them, whether it's the judge, whether it's the sheriff, a marshal. They will just make things work. They will be the reason that you'll be able to stay in the game. And look at that. Even though you're winning the bonus round because of some of the upgrades, some of the investments that you've made, DRX choosing to go for a bit of a variety pack here. They do still have the showstopper, and this will, of course, mean that they'll have the wealth of economy next round to maybe even pick up the operator.
Yeah, absolutely. Flashback, maybe a little bit of inspiration. He says, hey, I can do that with the Sheriff as well. Going to pick up one for himself. We'll see if he's got the sharp shooting that Elmimore has showed off already. Most kills on his team by far, up at 7. The next player has 2. And Mako just going to hold here with the Bucky. He's got Buzz nearby. A Stinger if this mid push does come in once again.
Yeah, so all of this utility means that DRX is focused on mid. That's the timing that RRQ has taken to start to try to lurk into ramps. Xfero will get stopped in his tracks, though, with that camera. So really good sense from Foxy9 as well, just to make sure that he knows where his team is weakest right now on the map. Continuing to pick up information. Look at this. The backup's already here on the A site, and DRX is ready for it.
I mean, they're ready, and the shots are sharp this time, but Elmimore is going to trade one back. Ooh, that one is dropped by Mako. Elmimore picks up a second. And now all of a sudden, look at the guns we have left here for the side of DRX. But Flashback,
left.
I talked about getting inspired. I mean, that was insane. That one very long shot right down over to ramps. But now Flashback has literally 1 health.
Yeah, but does Estrella know that Flashback could have already gone past? I think he heard the Shrouded Step from afar, but he has no idea that he might be on site. Flashback might just ruin this on a timing. The Poison Cloud, it's not going to cover him in time. 6 seconds. Estrella doesn't have time. The round's already won.
This is insane. He does go for the challenge here, which is pretty interesting. I thought maybe he'd just hold on to his gun, but wanted to deny the plant. Estrella does get the plant down with 8 health, but it's still another round over to DRX, and
oh man,
that was just insane, that timing.
I mean, this is what happens when you make those assumptions. I mean, yes, sometimes you need to, because you can't always be as thorough as you would want to be. But on the flip side, that means credit to Flashback, getting ahead of the opponents. Crispy shots, the Shrouded Step, he's instantly on the move. Realizes that the only other opening is that if there was still a lurk, because they never actually saw Estrella in the second half of that round. This is DRX communicating very well amongst themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You could see Flashback himself can hardly believe it. He's like, whoa, I just did that. That was crazy. And probably the rest of his teammates giving him a lot of credit for that play and potentially saving the round for the team. I mean, if they get that down, it's a 2v1, Flashback on 1 health. If he gets spotted, taken out, doesn't feel good for DRX in that position.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely could have spiraled out. And once again, DRX just going to hold. So with this heavy focus that they have on mid, that allows them to really pace out their utility on something like the A side. They've really just kind of left B open several rounds in a row, trusting that the Tripwire and Flashback, along with the Paranoia, will be able to buy enough time. Once again, they realize, okay, well, the lurk was still on the A side. There's a good chance the rotate comes through. Still got a trip, still got a Cypher Cam as well. And DRX, while the backup's not here this time, what they're positioned for is we're going to try to push them out of A into potentially vents, right? Force them to rotate, and we still have control of mid.
I do see the Kates come down, and they do have to push through all of that, but with 2 members on the site, no, it is going to be the clean entry. Maniac gets 2 headshots to open up this A site, and Buzz now has rotated over, but a lot of work for him and Flashback to do. Buzz right around the back. He's going to get this 1 kill onto Estrella, but now he's getting pushed. The paint shells do come out. Flashback is coming over, trying to help out, but immediately he's going to be taken down. It's 4 headshots from the side of Elmimore, and Monyet will get the job done and get RRQ their second round.
Yeah, some might look at that and say maybe a bit of a rush showstopper for Monyet, and result-wise, you would be correct, but I don't mind it just because, again, you're just fishing for whatever rounds you can get on the attacking side of Split, right? You already lost some momentum. So on the side of RRQ, just trying to make sure that you're not giving this 1v2, giving a lot of respect to Flashback on his mechanics as well, and you're keeping tabs on the economy as well. DRX, they just haven't actually quite stabilized a single time, right? 3 rounds in a row. So now they'll just have to rely on a Judge, a Stinger, and all of their ultimates.
Yeah, they do have every single one, and you would imagine that they probably want to cycle some of those. I do wonder what the idea will be if they'll just hold on to them and maybe try to utilize them in the next round when they actually have a decent buy, or they want to try to maybe catch some upgrades somewhere along the way with some of these ultimates and cycle a little bit, as RRQ once again is pushing up through mid.
There might be an opportunity for a showstopper here if they had gotten sight of anyone, maybe even the first kill. Wouldn't have been surprised if Buzz maybe pushed out with the Judge and the showstopper, but they will play it safe as they just aren't sure of the exact numbers. And finally, RRQ gonna start to push B site a little bit. Gain some information, try to stretch DRX thin on a round that they should be weak on.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I mean, Flashback is still waiting and ready to go for this one. The Trapwire not here, but now Buzz with the Judge. They should have heard that, as now he's going to challenge Jemkin. And Buzz actually does take out the showstopper, looking, begging anyone else to come through. And he will eventually fire this off. I mean, they got to kind of back off. That was a little bit close. Yeah. But he does pull it a bit short of the guys who were there in the entrance to Garage.
But now no time. You heard them still take out the Seekers. So most of the members are still here from DRX. RRQ has no idea the Judge is still running rampant, and the upgrade on the Phantom for Flashback. It has gone so south here for RRQ on a round that they absolutely should have been winning on paper.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take a look, only the Seekers and the Showstopper utilized in this one. So they're able to cycle those, and yeah, it's just going to be a Thrifty over the side of DRX, and they get 4 upgrades.
Jeez.
And, well, we can talk about economy as much as we want, but that is just glorious. That's like one of the best feelings in Valorant. When you Thrifty them, you get all these, you know, everybody's alive, you get so many upgrades. It's great.
Yeah, and the Paranoia was very good there, too, making it just a bit more advantageous for Buzz in that close range with the Judge. And this was one of those rounds where RRQ didn't actually invest into a lurk, right, to try to go for a rotate. And we're actually going to see a DRX timeout.
Wait.
Huh.
Really?
Okay. I mean, it's both on the screen and on the graphics, so I'm gonna believe in it. Now, the reason I wouldn't be too surprised is, again, your economy wasn't as stable, meaning that you kept having to buy back up, you kept having to invest, and then there was a bit of ping-ponging back and forth, and perhaps DRX was getting a little bit scared on the fact that, hey, if they, let's make the assumption that you thought RQ was going to win that round based on economy, then it's a 4-3. That's already, you know, enough rounds given on the attacking side to the opponents, so they're trying to calm things down and try to call out the lurk and the rotation timings here from RRQ. Because one thing that DRX hasn't been doing is pushing out to get information around the 1 minute mark. I think RRQ's always been waiting for it, but perhaps now is the time for DRX to change that tempo up a little bit.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Just trying to solidify your lead and just hold on to it. I do worry for RRQ, you know, only getting 2 rounds so far. They dropped the pistol, and they do have this double duelist from the attacker side. It feels like they should be able to get a bit more success than what we've seen so far. As now, looks like a heavy push into A, as here we go. Gonna clear out the ramps, and up goes Monyet.
And that, oh my gosh, what a big kill. Now the pinch really losing a lot of its power. Estrella kind of has to help open things up here in heaven.
And, I mean, they are gonna come on in and take out Mako, who was still coming up, but there is another guy coming up the ropes. Buzz does trade 1 for 1. Foxy Does have help on the site, but Elmimore is cleaning it up. Jemkin also going to pick up a kill. And now it's only Flashback who does have to rotate over here, and they're going to commit to the pit as well. As perhaps RRQ will win another round. We'll see.
Already planting the seeds of doubt with that Shrouded Step. There's a Paranoia. Jemkin reads the direction, but it's too late. He's already been hit. Flashback now gaining information on where that snakebite's coming from. He's trying to get ahead of Xfero, thinking that Xfero might have wrapped around, but Xfero's just been hiding out in the pit. Flashback's going to start to run out of time.
Yeah, there's really not much time here. He has to get the kill right now. He's going to tap the spike. Oh, he is going to pick up the kill. Flashback. Unbelievable clutch. He takes them both down.
Oh, man. It all works out for Flashback. Always one step ahead of Xfero. Xfero just imagined that he might wrap around the back of the site to try to push out, because that would be the logical conclusion, because that's where you have a wall, right? So you can kind of peek out and only look at one direction. But Flashback just straight up says, I know exactly where you have to be at this point. Ring around the rosie's over, and just pushes out in the open. I mean, this is not an angle you usually push out on from the pit, because it's a 50-50. Yeah, even the coaches, Glow was absolutely holding his breath on that one.
Yeah. Just get the big nods from Termi. He's recognized. He's like, wow, impressive. Good stuff. And now we've got the Blade Storm here for Jemkin. They are going to try to open up this A site once again. He's going to go over the top and above Foxy, who also was paranoid. And now, being in a lot of trouble, will be isolated. RRQ this time, they do get onto the A site.
Yeah, RRQ going for the strat. Why drone for the Jet when the Jet can be the drone and drone for everybody else? The speed absolutely favoring RRQ on this one. The setup was good. Oh, what?
It was ice cold. And Buzz just gets wrapped around on there from Xfero. Did have an inkling, but a little bit too slow on the trigger. So RRQ, that's a very nice round.
Yeah, that shot snatched the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that RRQ, recognizing that Foxy's been an absolute pain, right, in their sides here, recognizing that he's always been hiding behind that map. They spotted him there 2 rounds in a row once he went on the execute. So they say, let's take him out first before the backup can arrive, and then the site is ours. Jemkin happy with how he opens things up. And now RRQ, they'll take the pressure off of the A side. They've been focused on it 2 rounds in a row. They're going to start to play mid a little bit once again, rely on that lurk over by the A side.
Yeah, we'll see how this does go for them. I feel like DRX have been heavily invested towards mid and have tried to shut it down. And it has worked out for them so far, at least kept RRQ out of here for the most part. But Bomb Buddy's going to be sent in. Blue bot, and now
Blinded.
a little blind to come forward, but they are rotating over towards Garage.
Yeah, but again, that trip, now they've gone through this trip before, and they've broken it as well, so they're well aware of it. They'll shoot it down instantly, and that's the tempo they need.
I mean, they get into the site. Maybe they've identified, okay, we got to up the tempo a little bit as the Shrouded Step does come in, but now the crossfire from the 2 of them, Flashback and Mako up top, just to absolutely cream them there on the site.
Oh, that was such a good setup, because you hear the Shrouded Step, and you know for a fact that one is in the back of sight. And it looked like Jemkin was actually ready for the potential pinch as well with the double team, but just a very, very wide spread out angle. I mean, watch how they hold it here as Foxy9's going to get the kill on the other side, but Buzz is way deep past the smoke. Absolutely throws Jemkin off. Jemkin basically has to be susceptible to death as he swings out. And these are the strengths I think that DRX has consistently been showing here in Stage 2, are these kind of micro adjustments, the micro movements, the tactics between 2v2s, 3v3s, where they know how to make the fight advantageous. The question has become, how fast can they really build up their playbook once again to the old era of DRX?
Yeah, that is the main question. Slowly but surely wins the race, but so far impressive stuff here up against RRQ, and this time we do know that it is an RRQ timeout, and it does make sense. Sitting at 7-3, only 3 rounds here on the attacker side of Split, which after the changes a while back does feel a lot more even.
Yeah, and you're running the double duelist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you should absolutely be looking to try to actually get the lead here in the first half, as awkward as that may sound once you're on Split. But if anything, you should have, definitely be trying to go for a 6-6. Now that's impossible, so this is kind of a do or die timeout if you're RRQ.
Goes here.
Elmimore leading the pack as much as he can with 14 kills, but it's been rough across the rounds. Just a couple of them slipping away in the last seconds.
Yeah, it definitely has been. As now the pit and mid, they're just saying, how about no? You're not allowed through here. They even have a wire as well, just in case. I mean, you're not getting through mid unless you're going to commit extremely heavily to get through this.
Yeah, and RQ does, right? They read through this and they say, okay, there's a good chance with this pit that there's a trip there as well, because that means literally all the teammates can now fan out and just leave the pit to Mako. So they'll use that to try to weaken it. But look at this. On the A side, Buzz is already pushed out. DRX just hasn't pushed at all for 10 rounds in a row. And now they already have absolute information across the map.
Yeah, and I mean, what are you going to do to push through that as well? I mean, there's the cam setup. They get shot by that. There's the smoke in their face.
Oh, he's going to keep going.
They're just going to try to force towards B, and Buzz, he's still coming in from behind getting the supreme information. And now Bane's here, hits the shot. And RRQ are just stuck. And Buzz is about to get the jump on them.
He hears him. That's one. Okay. I mean, that's as good as it can get for RRQ given the circumstances. They will have the time to try to run over, but DRX will be there to greet them as they all got tagged on the exit from the Cypher ultimate.
Yeah. Just going to leave Foxy over at B just in case. But this is just a full-on sprint towards A at this point. 18 seconds left. 2 members of DRX on the site looking and trying to stop the plant from coming on in, as Estrella will be spotted. Mako behind the screen. The spam does come in, but he will be isolated. Flashback still here, going to take them both down, plus the spike carrier. And there's just not enough time here for RRQ. Estrella does get the 1 kill, but Foxy9 will stay safe, and that is going to be another round win over to DRX, and even the insult to injury kill there as Foxy9 takes him out.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 times that RRQ has kind of set up for an all-in on one side of the map, and it actually happened to be B side both times, right, where they just don't have a lurk at all on the A side. They have no options. They've gotten into this situation where all the information DRX has already gained, RRQ has no idea about it, then they're out of time, then they rush, they're running out of time on the clock. And obviously, you know, not any rounds left now to try to remedy that, but hopefully if they play split again in the future, something to look at in terms of how else they're putting pressure. Because right now it's a lot of assumptions.
Yeah, it definitely is. And last round of the half, RRQ kind of desperate to get this one at this point. Saw a bit of fanning out at this stage of the round. A couple of guys still in mid, the 2 duelists, so maybe they will actually try something through mid, but still ample time to go elsewhere. Xvero. Oh boy.
Yeah, tried to see if he could get past it. I think he kind of double guessed himself. If he went forward right at the beginning, he would have made it past. But, I mean, at the very least, you take the trap out, right? So now you know that DRX does have to keep their eyes on A side a little bit. They're aware of the lurk. So now he'll go to rejoin. Now, these are the times, again, in the past rounds where they didn't move fast enough, but this time, the main force in mid. They're already creeping through. They have no idea. They don't have their eyes. Both of them watching the same angle. It's Benz.
Oh, no. You know, that's not what you like to see, but Mako loved it. He's like, yeah, absolutely. I will take this. Thank you very much. 3 kills for Mako. Easily cleans them up.
30 seconds left.
Communication seemingly not there in this round. Perhaps a bit frustrated at this point as Estrella does get 1. Elmimore's on the site, but he will be eliminated. Flashback still not cleared out of the back of the site. Nice swing, but Foxy9 is there as well. So 9-3 in favor of DRX here from the defender side of Split.
Yeah, a very happy half for DRX, all things considered, with the composition, with the map, of course, on their choice as well. So DRX, I think the composition change also working a lot for them. Again, the reason they were pushing out a lot in the, with the previous Clove competition is because you kind of had to. I mean, yes, you have double smokes, but the whole idea is that you're setting up these fights where you can have an advantageous fight, or maybe you don't care about the 50-50, things like that. And now you're saying, okay, I mean, that's great, but that means we absolutely have to win all of our fights. That didn't go as planned for Paper Rex, so we will go back to a bit of an older version that is very, very stable here with the Omen and the Viper and the Cypher. Very defense-focused. Now let's see what they do. All eyes still over on the Cypher for the lurk. Oh, to watch your King Buzz play, well, he is on stage, and we'll see if he continues to frag. Ran into the DRX staff before the match today, and they told us to get ready to see Angry Buzz. So see if he continues to put up some higher numbers today.
Yeah. I mean, I think his first round was the one that stuck out the most in my mind, you know, getting a couple of Sheriff kills. He was quite aggressive afterwards. And I mean, he's had a relatively good map. I just feel like it's kind of been one-sided in favor of the whole team.
Yes.
Flashback has had more of the flashy moments, funnily enough, for his team. But Buzz has been playing well as well.
Yeah. And now on the attack, he'll have to be the one that leads the charge for DRX. You got the screen set up on B.
Here.
But this is something that, again, if you have both the Viper and Cypher, you can afford to do, where you don't actually always need the default screen over by ramps to put pressure with the lurk, because Cypher can do it on his own with the Cyber Cages, with the cam to start to inch forward. That means you have freedom to put the screen on B sometimes, maybe across mid, and then you switch it up to A. There's a lot more mind games that you can do across the entire map.
Jemkin feeling very cozy in this corner, but smoke will go down from the Viper, and now he's going to drop down. Ooh, that's some information, but now he's isolated, has to get out of there, throws a cloud burst as well. And here comes Buzz. He is always going to run out of bullets, and now Xpero up top helping out, but Mako, a couple of classic kills. Very nicely done from him. Also going to get a quick plant down here on the VCT.
Nice smoke already onto the box for the one-way, and that means Estrella now still focused on the lurk. They still just have not ever found Foxy9 throughout this round, but it's a play for time, and Foxy9 knows this. He waits until you hear sound, and now the pinch is going to happen on the lurk. RRQ.
Pinch shells do come out, but Mako's ahead of all of this, right on the other side of the screen. Oh, and he's just going to run through it, and Mako takes him down, but now isolated on the back of the site. He is, but Foxy9 coming in from behind. The defuse is being held by Monyet. He doesn't care, but Foxy9 gets in and shuts him down. Gets another pistol round win for DRX.
Yeah, Monyet even he was even ready for that second swing around the pillar, but Foxy9's just clean with it. And Foxy9 brings up the rear for DRX. Great lurk, great timing. And I will dare say that Buzz surely will be angry after this round, because that entry with the Frenzy not quite going his way. Runs out of ammo pretty quickly on that gun. That's just a nice swing here for Foxy9. Yeah, great crosshair placement. Mako trying to bring up a little bit of energy for the younger players. We saw that in their previous games as well. Trying to take on that mantle of the new IGL.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty good so far in this map against RRQ. And now Trailblazer going to be sent into B. There's a huge stack right now on B. There are 4 members here on the eco from RRQ. Maybe they'll get a sense of that and try to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I think with just how aggressively that was being cleared, you're in no rush to go in at the very least. Oh, he spots him first, and again, put the Sharp in his hands. That's Elmimore. Now DRX thinking that with the push out, they might have a chance of timing onto B.
Ooh, the paint shell's going to force everybody in, as now the Paranoia, the perfectly timed Paranoia, does cast them all, but Buzz is still going to clean up 3. Does get taken down by Xpero. And Flashback has to go 1v2 with the Bulldog. He's got a decent shot. The right click, not great. And the shots, though, from Elmimore. He will lock it down and live with 12 health.
Yeah, trying to make sure he gets the best upgrade possible, and you'll find it. The Vandal for Elmimore opens up the round, and he wraps it up nice with a bow on top. And the round differential, very disadvantageous still, but a Thrifty, you'll take that. You're on that defending side. You could easily try
chill, brother.
To snowball this. And also, here's the thing, is that you do have the double duelist, but if you can get to that operator, suddenly Jemkin turns into a bit of a sentinel on that jet and just holds an angle.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind to pick up the operator at this point. Certainly it does feel like Elmimore's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the team. He's hit 20 kills already as, ooh, Jemkin. Nice little tap there from up top as, yep, that's going to be shut down as well. DRX just flooding on in, trying to get any kills possible, but denied at every turn here by RRQ. It is the flawless of the anti-eco here on the side of RRQ.
This is definitely what you want to see if you're rooting for RRQ, because you have to snowball as much as possible. Listen, it's not 11, it's not 12 on the board. DRX has a surprisingly long way to go if they don't have momentum. And RRQ is starting to close the gap. Wouldn't be surprised if DRX can pick up a win in the next round or two for a timeout to come out from Termi and Glow. But they will give the players one more shot. You're 2 points away from the showstopper, 2 away from the pit as well. maybe something you could make happen in this round. Definitely, maybe the next.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Monet's just going to hold this with Estrella, actually. Just the stack on B. And the rest of the players just going to hold over towards A. Does look like Xfero's looking at mid, which DRX right now is poking and prodding at, with Buzz there leading the charge. Mako, will he peek into this? Is really the big question for me.
It's a rude surprise if he does. It almost might be better if he does, just to get some information here. Because if they peek out all together just off of one guiding light or anything like that. Ooh. Oh, well, that's a bit of
It's 3 kills.
Oh,
okay, if it was Mako alone, you know, getting the information, the team backs up, sure. But instead, it's just 3 kills to Monette.
Wow. I mean, that was high-low to perfection, right? I mean, Monette just free to jiggle left and right, pick up all the kills patiently in his aim training. And Foxy left all alone. What was very well played from RRQ, actually, on the other side of the map, was that you saw Xfero shift his weight to B Heaven, because on the A side they were getting ready to push out. So they didn't quite care if mid to vents was a thing on the A side. By that point, they would have control of A main. They would be able to check if it was a lurk or not. And so they would have had that information. But this time it works out perfectly, and I don't think DRX was privy to that timing. So we'll see if RRQ utilizes that map play again in the coming rounds.
Yeah, would be nice to see. I think Foxy9 here just going to accept his fate. It's kind of the role of the Cypher, especially in this position where the rest of your team died. And you were lurking on the opposite side of the map. We do have double showstopper here. And you would imagine, as you were saying before, Chobra, that they'll call a timeout if they don't get this next one.
Monette in focus. Really started to, make a name for himself as a Raze once again when he was still on Paper X over on Madrid. A lot of people doubted whether he could play at the highest level as a duelist. And he definitely left his mark. Now he gets a chance to flex it a little bit again here on RRQ.
Hello.
That's a lot of people. And the full stack read from RRQ on A. Now they won't have been correct. But we'll see if they can just stay alive. Gem again. He's not going to get the kill. He wanted the 1-to-1 trade. Wouldn't have been so bad considering it's an eco here from DRX. Just a hero rifle.
Yeah, Angry Buzz, though, gonna shut that one down. A nice amount of angry dancing there in the sky. And now they're gonna get this plant down. Monette is pretty far forward here up in heaven. Does have his team with him. And now the pit also to come down.
Yeah, and that's gonna buy so much time for Flashback to actually have the leisure to wrap all the way around. RRQ has to get ahead of this, because they think the flank is absolutely clear. Showstopper to make sure you're clearing all the other angles. Xfero's starting to dig deep into it, but the Showstopper gets shut down. And now 3 members still alive, and there it is. Flashback arriving in the nick of time on Heaven. Absolutely puts a stop to this retake.
And now Estrella's trying to cover like 8 different angles. He's like,
busy.
oh God, where is he?
No, he's got a lot he has to pay attention to.
Oh, well, Flashback goes flying through the air, and it is just, obviously too late to win the round, but at least Estrella does take down 2 of them. So not too many rifles brought over after that Thrifty.
Yeah, that's very well set up from DRX. I love the pit. I love that they actually don't leave a lurk, but Flashback's already on the move once the plant goes down. Because here's the thing is that RRQ, like Monette purposely cleared out Mail, and then Xfero brought up the rear and mid. Like they were making sure that nobody was left around from DRX. And then they realized a little too late. But by that time, I would say also the main force of DRX holding quite strong, and now it's going to be a rush from DRX. The tempo change is impeccable, putting a lot of pressure on the A side.
Cool. Buzz gonna see that Elmimore or somebody's up there now. Elmimore aggressively swinging into this. Estrella also got this kill from the site, so yeah, immediately that aggression will be punished.
Yeah, and you realize the main force isn't quite here yet, so you can stabilize again. Now RQ, that's going to put them into a position where they're going to go for a bit of a safer default, right? You're imagining, okay, we have no idea where they are. Maybe they're still in mid. So Estrella's just going to hang back. Worst case, you can make a 5v3 retake. Wouldn't be the toughest thing for you to do. Secret being used, RQ not taking any chances.
They're going to get a lot of information.
Oh boy, the lineup.
Yeah. They both just stack for it, and Elmimore, he will enjoy a 4K and a flawless for the team. RRQ are right back in control.
If RRQ somehow bring it back on this map, you gotta let Elmimore choose what's for dinner like every day for the rest of the year, because he is absolutely carrying this map on Split.
I mean, what else can you say? I mean, he might hit the 30 bomb. He's gonna pull a May here, and he's getting hyped.
Oh yeah, he's getting fired up, and the operator continuing on for RRQ as well. We spoke about it. This allows them to start to play like they have a Sentinel. DRX will have to fish for it with weaker weaponry.
Yeah, they have so much money. I mean, Elmimore's sitting on like 7,800. Yeah, actually, exactly 7,800.
Yeah, he should have actually just bought for Monyet at this point, because he's going to cap out. But
yeah. Well, oh. Nice shots there from Estrella, and he'll get away. That takes down Buzz early in this round. It's mostly an eco here for DRX.
Yeah, and you realize the trip is still there. Haven't quite seen the Cypher, but you imagine he might be lurking around, especially with the cam hanging out on A. And now that the raise is gone, Jemkin feels safer than ever, right? You're not going to really get flashed and then absolutely jumped on with something like a shorty or anything like that. You know it's at least a broken round here.
Will they know they're this far up? Well, and Sparrow knows it now, and Elmimore's right there from the crossfire. Lines it up again! And the collect comes through. It's 3 for Elmimore, picks up 4. Back-to-back 4Ks, and he hits the 30 bomb. 30 kills on Split for Elmimore.
He just used his Seekers the previous round. He is now 1 point away again. What a performance. There's just something. I know it's not Monyet putting up the numbers, but there's just something about DRX playing Monyet on Split that doesn't quite go well for them. Somebody's trying to look to make the land kill record again, because Elmimore this time absolutely in the running with 30 on the board here on the defensive side. And DRX, the timeout finally comes out. See what they can gather from this, because you know, normally in a round like this, you'd be like, okay, well, guys, they used their Seekers the round before. All right, they're not going to have any ultimates down. You're like, well, they might have the Seekers again. So how do we make sure we draw that out of them?
Yeah.
Mako dealing with the pressure of being that UIGL. I think he's trying to take it in stride, but it's never an easy job, especially if you don't have the experience prior.
Yeah, it's tough, and they're still developing, and, you know, RRQ might be their opportunity to take down DRX in this moment, but we'll see how the rest of this map goes. I mean, DRX are still 2 rounds away. If they can eke out a 1-round win, even if it's a close one, you get into overtime, you give yourselves a decent chance of winning the map. But yeah, this comeback from RRQ is huge.
Just
Elmimore leading the charge.
The op still not spotted quite yet in B main. I mean, DRX might have the guesses by now, especially with the econ and the fact that they just haven't seen Jemkin at all. But Jemkin's going to feel comfy just holding that angle still on his own. One away from the pit as well. Xfero gets a nice shot here. That'll be an easy one. Oh, this is their idea to try to pitch onto the operator. Jemkin has his crosshairs trained. The scope's on it, and he's good for 1. Repositions with the blade. That's 2. He's still safe. And there's the 3rd and the 4th with the right click. Oh, okay, won't quite get the ace. Winning the round is a bit more important.
Oh, man, I thought he had it.
I thought he had it. I was holding my breath.
Yeah, what a sick round here from Jemkin. And the idea, I think, was pretty good from the side of DRX, but the pinch does not work, especially because he was also 1 away from his ult.
Yeah, I mean, the blade's absolutely crucial. And the fact that, sure, you sent the Seekers, but the Guiding Light goes a little too deep, just not taking into account that he could be holding close on that box. I think they imagine he might be back site with the operator, or maybe even on the way of exiting the site. So DRX this time with a little bit of their own assumptions. Still have that paranoia ready for a pinch onto Heaven, but they're not set up for it just yet. They'll have to push the line back with the Trailblazer.
Yeah. And Jemkin this time holding towards Garage. Estrella gets his own paranoia in. Does get flashed, but Jemkin's good for the kill on Amako here. And now the push does come in. It's a stinger kill going over to Bane. Jemkin is still going to line it up. Still holding on to that operator, and now he's got help from the rest of his team. Jemkin puts up 3 once again, and now it's 11-10. And DRX don't have any more timeouts. Just got to try to run with it.
Yeah, I mean, they got to gather all the information on their own, and this is where maybe having a younger, less experienced squad could start to really put the pressure on him. Right, you don't have an experienced IGL. You have 2 guys that just haven't really been playing consistently at the top level, playing, in a complete team setting. So we'll see. I mean, even Bane, I would say, not that much experience. Sure, he's had stints in challengers. We'll see what they can do, because if they don't win this one, I mean, RRQ is probably taking them over for map point. Looking at the economy, DRX pulling together everything they have.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the critical round. I mean...
You just have to. There's no other way. And the operator repositioning towards the back of site this time. They're ready for a bit of a switch up from DRX.
And the push does come in. The spray hits Buzz in the feet a bit. He takes some chip damage, but now the flash comes in, but Xpero is still going to get the kill. And no luck for Buzz on these pushes through mid. Mako, he might see the end of Jemkin's gun once again if he peeks that corner, but no, it's just going to be a regroup here. And now Foxy9 is going to go down. Elmimore was pushed up very far. The Seekers as well going to be utilized here. DRX will shoot them down, and now Elmimore's getting aggressive. Mako reloading, gets taken down. Elmimore's just running this map.
Yeah, and now you know they're trapped somewhere in sewers to mid. And you can just hold A main, Elmimore all alone. The rest can all cycle back. Estrella just making sure. Oh, okay, gets caught out a little bit. He was meant to just check if there's a crossover.
Oh. Oh, but they don't take the flashback with the insane flick. Now Jemkin, the paranoia, but he's still going to hit the shot. Has a shorty too. Still looking good for him to take it down. Flashback, just way too much pressure, but he gets another one. And yet... Jemkin will stand on top of the end. Flashback making it interesting.
It almost felt like everyone in RRQ was getting possessed by some poltergeist each one at a time. They just couldn't stabilize their aim. Whatever was happening up in B heaven, it's haunted. You don't want to fight DRX there anymore, but the map was played well by RRQ. And thankfully, they had such a massive number advantage. I mean, Jemkin with just the right timing on that scope. They're going great. I mean, this is an incredible run back from RRQ, and now Econ broken for DRX.
Yep. They're playing for overtime at this point, and they were ahead 11-3, right?
Yeah.
Or 10-3. Excuse me. But still, that's enough of a lead generally. Xpero gonna line it up, going up against a bunch of sheriffs. Bane does eventually take him down, but now the pressure is coming in as they don't want those upgrades to come through. And yeah, that's going to be the majority of them taken down. Now Bane is the only one who did switch over to this Phantom.
I mean, if he could do something crazy here, boy, would that be a momentum shift, but it looks impossible. Elmimore is low. But the positioning, look at RRQ. They're not taking chances, right? Monette, sure, he's getting a little bit antsy to try to fish for a kill. See if he can get towards that showstopper, because that would really put the nail in the coffin. But otherwise, the way they're positioned, all backs up against the wall, only having to watch one angle. If it's a B plant, so be it. We'll play for the retake. There's only one extra round anyway. That econ, that extra 300 credits, isn't going to be what makes or breaks the entire map.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bane eventually gonna come into contact with Monette, who will take him down. 12-11 to RRQ. DRX have gotten one round in the last 10.
You know, I just remembered, Valdez, that split map with DRX and GE where Monette did go crazy.
Yeah.
That was also the first time we casted together in Valorant, so we might be in for a banger.
We're the ones causing this. The casters have all the power. That's what Chat always says. Start the game, casters.
Yeah, they just know. We try to hide it. Chat just knows.
12-11 here, and a pit for Xpero. Mid is not an option. Now, DRX, they do have a couple ults, but not very proactive ones. Maybe if Buzz picks up a kill somewhere, Wouldn't even mind trying to set him up for an orb and then maybe like a strong push and a Jemkin. Perhaps that is the choice here, as they are grouping up outside of Garage.
I think they want to go for a fake onto A. They're putting the Sky over to that side. The trip just gets hit by the Trailblazer, but you know that no one has still pushed it. That trip is still alive, so it's going to be the fake from Bane over onto the A side. No, they choose against it. But they're starting to run out of time. I mean, this is so... Look at RRQ. They clear it. They still see no reaction. The showstopper's been picked up. Monyet gets no pressure against him as he's making noise on the orb. So RRQ just says, it is a B hit. They have the absolute read on this.
They absolutely do. And how many members does it take to stop the push? Generally not that many, as the pink shells as well. Right as the push, the perfect timing does come down, and now you do see the neural theft will be utilized, as now Flashback is going to be able to TP over to A. And a chance here for DRX.
Foxy. Oh, he breaks him apart. That already buys so much time because now they have to clear him. It's either that or push as all three through screens. RRQ's in a rush.
Yeah, they absolutely are, as now Flashback, a big kill for himself.
Look at Foxy on the map, by the way. He's going all the way around B. He knows they have to chase him.
Oh, he's going to come back now, actually, expecting the pressure to come in. And he's going to take it slow, though, and just wait for them the absolute last moment where they have to push. Is Jemkin going to fall down? He does get the one, but it's overtime. DRX Flashback to get 3 on this map, or on this round, rather, and it's all tied up. DRX finally claw another round out.
I didn't quite believe in myself when I talked about the overtime, but I guess you're right. We just have too much power. I mean, the read was good. It was a risky read, but it had all the reason to be made. Great kill from Foxy9, breaking apart mid. That also gives extra confidence to go for the ultimate on that Omen, to take the spike to the A side, because you know you've cut off the rotation, and Foxy9 this time alongside Flashback, the two rookies on DRX, bring DRX to an overtime on their map pick.
Wow. Well, you saw they weren't super excited about getting overtime,
yeah.
You know? It feels not great to only get 2 rounds in 11, but hey, at least they buy themselves a second chance to potentially get that morale up, to get some momentum for themselves. Let's see what RRQ do here on the attack for the first time in 12 rounds.
Yeah, that's been the weaker side for RRQ for sure. Again, not having a hard Sentinel means that if you want to hold some value on the lurk, you always need to have someone planted there. It always has to be, you know, something like a 4-1 setup on the attack. Drawing attention to mid, but the problem here that RRQ's had for the entire first half was that you'll try to pressure them in mid, but as long as DRX holds on to Vents and Mail, they'll always have the better rotation.
The push is coming in, the flash is good. Monyet on the entry takes down Mako, and all of a sudden, you don't quite have that same setup as the push is coming in through ropes.
Yeah, now you know you have your own pick of whichever site you go to. You know they have to be weaker because the rotation's been cut off. It's going to be a slower backup here from DRX.
Yeah, up top. Foxy hasn't quite... Oh, the shot is not going to quite ring true, and Jemkin takes him down. Bane on the back of the site. They know exactly where he is. He gets taken down. Elmi Moore with the quick headshot. And this attacker's round looking much better for RRQ compared to what we saw earlier.
Yeah, the fact that they have all 5 alive is incredible. I mean, Monyet not quite getting picked off on that entry. He's healed back up now.
Last player
X-Pharaoh going to take him down, and it is a flawless attacker's round. RRQ, you know, it still feels like they have that momentum from the second half.
Yeah, and just the adjustment to say that we can try to trade you to all we want, but unless we take Vent's control, it actually doesn't mean anything because DRX will just be faster in providing backup. They'll be faster in having the crossfire. So this time, they'll set up the smoke. The timing was impeccable as well. The smoke blooms, and instantly Monyet and Jemkin are in the face in Vents. So DRX, see if they can make any adjustments. Obviously, they did at the very end, but that was some heroics from Foxy9 as well.
Here comes the Trailblazer. Bane trying to get whatever information he can see.
Operator here for Jemkin as well on the B side.
Foxy, he's tucked in here near the orb, and he's making a lot of noise. That flash isn't going to hit him, so... Oh, he's not going to hit the shot, though. He had 2 opportunities to just click on the head of Monyet, and Monyet, he survives and does get the flick down.
Yeah, and now again, RRQ says, okay, we don't have any other information, but we do know that they don't have a hard lurk anymore. So we just go back to a safe default. On a timing, you can probably shift your way back over to A. You still do have the majority leaning towards the A side, right? You're holding vents and not mail. And Monyet will get the information that they also wanted. They're going to look to just hold on to Heaven and Ramps, and then they'll have a retake.
Oh, the timing here from Monyet, though, it's amazing. And Estrella's up top, too, just pushing through the smoke. Doesn't matter. Monyet picks up 3, has a showstopper, and an explosive end to this map as they take down DRX's split.
Incredible endurance from RRQ. It was looking so rough in the beginning half where they just couldn't find a way to break through that mid, break through the actual setup of DRX across the map. They find that out in the overtime, and then while they're on the defense, Elmimore buys enough time for the rest of his teammates to all come alive, and the operator, of course, ringing true for Jemkin.
RRQ, amazing stuff on the comeback here on Split. We're done for now. Let's send it over to the analysts to break down that first map.